Hey everyone, Mike from Just Watch back with another episode. Today we're going to go over my Baselworld top 10 list. I wanted to kind of compile a list of the watches that I like the most that aren't Rolexes. So that's what we did. I think putting Rolexes on this list is just too easy. Uh, Everybody's talking about the new Pepsi GMT on the Jubilee and the new Rose Gold GMT, and they're both fantastic, gorgeous watches. But by the end of day two, I was already sick of talking about them. So we're going to avoid talking about those and instead go into a different top 10. So without further ado, and actually before we do that, let's do a quick wristwatch check. Today we are wearing the Black Bay Steel, and I'm running it on a Archer NATO strap, which I quite like. It makes it very nice and light. Of all of my NATO straps that I like best, this Archer one, this is their better quality one. They offer two levels, and I'm not getting any paid endorsement or anything with them. But of all the NATO straps that I've purchased over the last year, their higher quality NATO strap is fantastic. It's material very similar to what you get with a car seatbelt. So really nice stuff. So anyways, let's talk about our list as far as which watches we liked best, and let's go over that. So the first one we're going to talk about is from Sin. It is their 103 SABE Pilot Chronograph. Really cool piece here. It is with subdials, 3 subdial chronograph. Gorgeous blue dial and bezel combination. This is the first time ever that Sin has offered this combination on one of their watches. It features Sin's classic syringe hands, Arabic numerals, and it just has just a nice bold wrist presence. The size is also very nice. It's 41 diameter by 47 lug to lug and 17 millimeters tall. So it's on the tall side, but it is this type of pilot's chronograph. I don't think it's really unusual to have that sort of wrist presence on them. Really cool crystal on this watch. It has an incredible sapphire crystal that actually starts out life as a 5 millimeter thick chunk of crystal. And I guess it has 5 different machine cuts within the manufacturing process to get to that dome, the dome look that it has. So quite the crystal. I'm looking forward to seeing one of these in real life. As mentioned, it does have chronograph subdials at the 12, 6, and 9 with a day-date complication at 3 o'clock that's beautifully framed. It does feature the Valjoux 7750 movement with a 42-hour power reserve, and it comes in 2 versions, a leather strap for $27.60 US. I'm going to give you all the prices I give you will be in US dollars, or it comes on a stainless bracelet for $29.50, and this watch is limited to 500 pieces. So if you're a Sin fan, if you're a collector, don't wait on this one, you're going to miss out. The second one we're going to talk about, maybe the most amazing wrist presence of all watches released at Baselworld, in my opinion. This would be the Jacques Dreux Grand Second Moon Onyx. This is a gorgeous, one of the most gorgeous black dials I've ever seen on any watch anywhere. It is a true pinnacle of modern horology and style. A really nice size. It's 43 millimeters by 13.2 millimeters thick. It has a nice stainless case. Like I said, a gorgeous onyx dial with a slightly domed bezel. It features 2 circles within the circular dial. The first at 12 o'clock being 2-hand hours, minutes, and the second at the 6, and it somewhat overlaps. You can see it overlaps the upper dial. This one features seconds, calendar, and the moon phase, which is really special. The moon phase part of this watch is what really sets this watch apart. It's a gorgeous detailed moon. It's made of 22 karat gold, and it really looks a lot like the moon, with stars made of 18 karat white gold. And they're also the kind of a cool retro 7-point star that just gives the watch a really great look. And what's really cool is the moon phase on this watch is accurate to 1 day in every 122 years in 46 days. So I'm not sure how they got to that figure, but really cool. It is a 30 joule JD266 OQL3 or 0QL3 automatic movement with a 68-hour power reserve. So really impressive automatic movement there. In a limited edition, retails for the low price of $17,300. So Definitely one of the higher end pieces that are in this top 10, but it's just such a special watch that I wanted to mention it. The next watch, or actually the next two we're going to talk about, are both from Breitling, or Breitling, whichever you prefer. The first is the Navitimer 1 in 38 millimeter. So once again, we're seeing a move towards smaller watches here, getting away from the 44s, 43s, 42s, going to a 38. They think there's more universal appeal with this watch, and I tend to agree with them on this. I think the 38 is a nice size. So this is a scaled down version of the classic three-hand automatic Navitimer, but it is not a chronograph. It does feature, or it does come in 3 dial colors. It comes in blue, silver, and black. The watch measures 38 diameter by only 10 meters thick, 10 millimeters thick, and it's 30 meter water resistant. Comes on an alligator strap with pin buckle. It features the Breitling caliber 17 movement, which is an ETA 2824-2, which is just a fabulous workhorse movement. Plenty of parts available for it for service down the road. Just a really nice movement. It has a 40-hour power reserve, and it beats along at 28.8 thousand vibrations per hour. And of course, it's cost certified, so you know it's going to be accurate. Retail price on this one is $4,200 US. So really nice piece. I'm really glad to see Breitling putting in some of these mid-sized pieces. Their collection over the last few years has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and more polished. And I think that their new CEO, I think, is kind of bringing back some more traditional sizes, which I think is a good move on their part. I think they're going to have good success with that. The next watch we're going to talk about, like I said, this is part 2 for Breitling. The next is the Navitimer 8 B35 automatic Unitime 43. So this is a really impressive looking watch, one of my favorite dials from Baselworld. It is a travel-focused pilot's watch that features a world timer. More traditional modern sizing here. It's a 43 millimeter diameter by 14.5 millimeter thick, stainless case with a black or mercury silver dial. You can also get it on, or 2 strap variations. You can get it on a steel oyster style bracelet or a brown crocodile strap. And it has a weird, I don't know why they did this, it has a 23 millimeter lug width. So, you can still run a 22 millimeter NATO through there if you want to. I'm sure that's not going to be too much of a gap. You're talking only a half a millimeter on each side if you can't find a 23. So I don't know. I question that move by Breitling on that. So the dial features Arabic numerals and a 24-hour ring inside of the world time zone ring. So you have almost 2 concentric rings out, like kind of on the chapter ring bezel area, with a 3-hand movement and the date at the 6. It features the Breitling's in-house Breitling's B35 caliber movement, which is a modified ETA 2892. It features jumping local hour changes coordinated to the 24-hour display, and it's all controlled by a single crown. So this watch actually features an ETA movement, and then Breitling plugs in their own module for this local hour, world hour type of stuff. And the 70-hour power reserve is really impressive. This one goes for $8,140 leather, or $8,520 on steel, and it is not a limited edition watch, so no issues there with availability, or there shouldn't be. Next one we're going to talk about is from Oris. Really nice watch, a nice new twist on their 65 dive watch. The 65 was released a couple of years ago. It's been very successful since its release, and they're offering 2 new sizes on this. This would be the Oris Diver 65 Bronze Bezel, which gives it a really nice just touch of class. I really like this little bit of color added to it. I think it's just really nice looking. So it's going to come in both a 40 and a 36. So once again, we're seeing a move towards some smaller watches here. And it features a bronze bezel with rose gold accents. So the bronze bezel, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous bezel. And then you have PVD rose gold accents on the indices and hands. So it's a really nice combination with the stainless case and the black dial that it comes in. It's a traditional 3-hand movement with the date of the 6 with 100-meter water resistance. It's available on 2 straps, or actually it's available on 3 straps. It comes with a leather, a rubber, or a NATO, and you can also get it on an oyster-style stainless bracelet. So lots of strap or bracelet options there, kind of no matter what your mood is. The caliber movement on this is Oris calibers 733, which is a Sellita SW200-1. It vibrates along at 28.8 thousand vibrations per hour. It is a 26 joule movement with a 38-hour power reserve. And the retail on this is very reasonable, I think, for what you're getting. It's $2,000 on leather or $2,200 on steel. So really nice piece, and I think a pretty good price point. And we've already seen how well the Oris 65 does sales-wise, and I think this is going to be successful for Oris going forward as well. So a nice piece there. Next piece, going retro here. Again, and a really nice move by Omega with this. This is the Omega Seamaster 1948, available in two different versions, so the limited editions. It's the 70th anniversary of the Seamaster. So what they did is they brought these back with the classic Seamaster style that was released back in 1948, but they gave it kind of a modern update, so it's a modern movement with the classic style, just as they did last year with the 300 series dive watches. And they also gave it a touch of military style. And these watches are both limited edition to only 1,948 pieces a piece. So once again, if you really want these watches, don't wait. They are going to go pretty quickly. Classic sizing on these again, 38 millimeter by 11.2 millimeter thick or 11.65 millimeter stainless case, depending on which movement you get. They both have domed silver dials and really nice classic applied markers. The two models, one with a sweeping second hand, so it has your typical sweeping second hand. The other comes with a second hand and a sub dial at the 6 o'clock. And I believe that's the one, that's the 11.65 millimeters thick. So it's a little bit thicker. It's 0.45 millimeters thicker. They offer 60-meter water resistance, sapphire crystal front and case back, featuring an etch, draft boat, and a Gloucester meteor plane. So the case back on this is really special. It's a really neat looking case back with that kind of vintage retro boat and a propeller plane featured back there. Strap options, blue or brown leather, depending on the model, with a vintage style Omega pin buckle. So really neat there. The two movements on these, the center seconds 35, or the center seconds is a 35 joule Omega caliber 8806 automatic movement with 55-hour reserve, vibrates along at 25.2 thousand vibrations per hour, and it's resistant to 15,000 Gauss. The small seconds features Omega's caliber 8804, 60-hour reserve, and everything else is the same. Both watches retail for approximately $6,000. The second watch we're going to talk about, also Omega. This is the Omega Seamaster Professional Diver 300M Co-Axial Master Chronometer. So quite the mouthful on that title. Omega likes their long titles, so, which is cool. This is really cool, and this is one of the watches at first I was like, but the more I looked into it and the more I looked at it, the more I appreciated it. So that's why I wanted to talk about this. It's just a gorgeous dial on this watch. So this one features a stainless 42 millimeter case, a ceramic bezel and dial, and the dial has a wave pattern. It's just gorgeous. And the dial comes in blue, black, or silver. As I said, it has a laser engraved wave motif, which is really quite nice. The watch is 300-meter water resistant, and it features a newly designed cone-shaped helium escape valve, which looks quite nice. I think it's a nice upgrade from the previous iterations on that. It features Omega's caliber 8835 joule movement. It's their first ever master METAS certified movement in a Seamaster, highly accurate and durable, and also highly anti-magnetic, featuring a 55-hour power reserve, vibrating along at 25,200 vibrations per hour. And the retail price on this, I think for what you're getting, is pretty good. Retails for about $4,600 US. So a really nice looking piece from Omega. And I believe it comes on a stainless bracelet, and it's also leather is included in there too. So a bracelet and a strap option, which is really nice. Next one, in case you're not noticing a trend here, it is the Tudor Black Bay 58. Once again, moving to smaller watch case diameters. And I think this one got a little bit lost in all of the excitement because of the Black Bay GMT. But I think this one deserves just as much, if not more attention. It's just a gorgeous watch. This is the smaller version of the Black Bay, which has been tremendously successful. This is inspired by the Big Crown Submariner of old from Rolex. This watch marks a sublime shift towards smaller case sizes with a 39 millimeter by 11.9 millimeter tall oyster steel case. So really nice case size there at 39. Very nice traditional Submariner sized case. This watch is powered by a brand new in-house caliber MT5402 movement with the 70-hour power reserve, which is quite impressive. Tudor's just doing a fantastic job on our movement. So, you're getting, it's Rolex's baby brother company. So, you're getting a Rolex quality movement with this watch at a fraction of the cost. So really nice there. And of course, it's cost certified. Gorgeous gilt dial here. There's no date, matching unidirectional, really silky smooth 60-click bezel. If you haven't handled a bezel or handled one of these Black Bay watches yet, do yourself a favor and get over to an authorized dealer and check one out. The bezel alone will sell you on this watch, and everything else is just icing after that. The handset is traditional, three-handed, the new, or actually not new, the reissue style snowflake design, and it's available on leather or, once again, they're going forward with the riveted oyster style stainless steel bracelet. So a really nice piece from Tudor. I'm really looking forward to seeing that 39. As you guys can see, I'm a fan of the Tudor Black Bay, so looking forward to seeing this piece in person. I really like the gilt dials with that little touch of gold. I think is really nice and classy and just looks great. We're going to move to the land of the rising sun with the next. We're going to talk about the new Seiko Presage SJE073, what I'm calling the new snowflake. This is a really cool looking watch. It has that gorgeous snowflake dial that Seiko fans like myself know very well. It's a beautiful new thinner case design, enabled by a new thin 26 jewel Seiko 6L35 movement. This is an update on the 6R35 that everybody knows very well. The 6L35, just like the 6R, vibrates along at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it's only 3.7 millimeters thin, so really impressive thin movement there. With a 48-hour power reserve. So it lost a little bit of the power reserve that the 6R35 has. So that's probably some of the trade-offs that they had to give up to go to the thinner movement. The movement mounts through the front of the watch too, which I think is really interesting. It's secured by a double bezel. So there's like an inner and then an outer bezel that you're seeing with this watch. And I actually have a cool little diagram of how that works that I'll put in here too, so you guys can see how that is. This watch also features Seiko's proprietary and gorgeous Zaratsu hand-polished case. As we mentioned, the snowflake dial. It's a nice case size, 40.7 by 9.8 millimeters, so really nice thin, under 10 millimeters, featuring a three-hand movement with a date window at 3 o'clock, a polished and beveled baton-style markers, a signed crown and sapphire crystal, 100-meter water resistance. They did not say that the crown is screw down or not. I'm assuming that it's not, as traditionally Seiko does not use screw down crowns on their Presage line of watches. It's an oyster style stainless bracelet with polished details on the inside and a double locking clasp. Hopefully this bracelet will have a little bit more micro adjust than the older Presage clasps. That's been an issue with theirs, is they only offer 2 positions and it's a very small adjustment. So people can actually wind up kind of between sizes with these. I know it's been a problem with my SARB 35. So really nice looking piece. It's going to be interesting to see how well this does. It's a limited edition, only 2,000 units being made, and it's a pretty high retail price for the Seiko Presage line at 2,200 retail. So it's getting up into Grand Seiko price point almost. It's kind of that in-between area. So it'll be interesting to do. I think if they offered a screw-down crown on this, and I hope they did, I think it would make that sale a lot easier. So, but I'm not sure that they did. The last one, last but not least, one of the finest watches from Baselworld. Though I know there was a lot of hype on this one, but I just had to talk about it again because I love this watch so much, and I hope I am able to get my hands on one someday. This is Seiko's 1968 Automatic Divers Recreation Limited Edition Reference SLA 025025. This is, once again, this is a reissue of the 6159-7001 that was originally released in 1968. This features the same one-piece front-load case with an automatic 37 jewel high beat 8L55 movement, vibrates along at an incredible 36,000 vibrations per hour and features a 55-hour power reserve. So this movement is basically a Grand Seiko movement without all the decoration, and there's no clear case back on this, so the decoration is not necessary. This is a bigger watch. It's 44.8 millimeter by 15.7 millimeter thickness. Features just like the Marine Masters and the original 6159, the crown at the 4 o'clock with a tall coin edge bezel and a gorgeous domed sapphire crystal with AR coating. Really beautiful dial bezel crystal on this watch. Seiko really knocked it out of the park here. The dial features gold applied indices with a gold handset and the date at the 3 o'clock. The bezel matches, has the black bezel with gold. I'm not sure bezel is made of on this one. I've not seen a spec on that yet. I'm assuming it's ceramic. It's either ceramic or they do a really nice job with a lacquered bezel that's also very strong and durable too. So I'm guessing it's one of those two. Of course, 300-meter water resistance as the other updates on the Marine Master have been. And as we said, this one is limited to 1,500 pieces worldwide. So very limited edition, and I'm sure these are going to go very quickly, even at the high retail price of $5,400. So this one's actually up in the Grand Seiko stratosphere of pricing from Seiko, but a gorgeous piece. So really looking forward to seeing one of these in person. I'm hoping I'm able to get a hold of one of these at some point. And then finally, what I wanted to talk about lastly was just two watches that I would like to see personally that I haven't seen yet. And the first is a Seiko SARB 35 or 33. They're a very popular watch, which was supposedly discontinued. Haven't seen anything out of Baselworld yet or out of Seiko yet as far as if they're re-releasing a new version of that. But I'm hoping that Seiko comes out with this watch. What I would love to see is a 39 or a 40 millimeter version of this, preferably a 39 of a SARB with a screw-down crown and a better bracelet. I think if they could offer that watch at, under $400 or $450 US retail with a screw-down crown and all of that, that gorgeous SARB dial that we saw, I think that watch would be a knockout. So Seiko, knock us out with that one. Please, if anybody's watching from Seiko Japan, take notes. So the second one that I wanted to talk about with this retro movement going on and just some really cool big crown dive watches, I think that the originator of the big crown or one of the originators of the big crown should go ahead and do that up, and that would be Seiko. I would love to see a limited edition, a big crown of the original King Sub, just a modern interpretation of that, except with a twist. I'd like to see it with an Explorer dial. I think that would be a really cool piece. Keep that traditional 39 or 40 millimeter size on an oyster bracelet with that black Explorer dial and the no crown guards with the big crown and an updated movement. I think that would be just a really cool watch. Maybe even some AR coating, which I know is not traditional. Rolex has never done, but hey, why not? Step into the 21st century. Let's get it done. So anyways, those are my top 10 from Baselworld 2018. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and those are also my two watches I would love to see going forward. If you guys like this content, please give us the thumbs up. If this is your first time tuning into our videos, welcome to the channel. Please hit the subscribe button down below, and thank you for stopping by and watching through to the end. And don't forget, you can still score a great deal on a watch over at mimosjewelry.com. I'll include the link down below in the description. When you check out any Seiko watch that retails on Mimo's website for less than $795, use the code Mike35 on checkout, and Mimo will give you 35% off that watch. You're getting a Seiko from a U.S. dealer, so you're getting all the benefits of having a U.S. dealer, full warranty, no misaligned chapter rings, et cetera, et cetera. So go on over there, check out his selection. He has a great e-com platform, and you can shop with confidence from Mimo. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Until next episode, bye for now.